Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be giving you a flip through and a review of the Winston Grammar Basic program. We started the school year out using Winston Grammar with my now fourth grader. She is about to move on to fifth grade. The reason why I chose this curriculum is because it is so hands-on. She is my kinesthetic learner and she needs all the hands-on activities she can get when it comes to her learning. So I researched, found Winston Grammar, found these cards that they have, which I'll show you guys in just a second. And I was like, this is what we need to use. It's perfect. Another thing is that at the time we were separating our ELA. We had been using master books, which encompassed all of it, but I just felt like there were some things missing. I'm going to link the video down below in the description as to why we stopped using master books language lessons for living education. You can check that out on your free time. Moving on to Winston Grammar, I decided let's separate everything. That's how we ended up with it. I love that it does sentence diagramming. My girls had never done any type of sentence diagramming whatsoever. So that was our first experience with sentence diagramming, and I feel like it's really important to be able to point out those parts of speech within the sentences that they are reading, using, writing, all the things. A few things, overview about Winston Grammar. Apparently it's been around since 1992. I did not know that, but it's still in print and still being used, and it worked really, really good for us until we reached a certain point. I'll explain more about that later. It's also a multi-sensory curriculum, so it's going to have your child moving around, using their hands, seeing different things, and that's what the curriculum is all about. Also, it is incremental, which means that it builds up on itself. So as you go through the basic curriculum, you're going to be adding on additional parts of speech to do your sentence diagramming. So you'll start with nouns, and then your adverbs, and then your adjectives, and it just continues to build until you get to the end of the basic program. All right, so let me show you what you'll get with the basic program. Also, let me mention that there are two levels. You have the basic program, which is this one, and it says that it is for 4th or 5th grade up to 7th or 8th grade. It all just depends on your child's level. So we started at 4th grade, but you're going to get in the basic program, you're going to get your basic level teacher's manual. You will also get the student workbook. It's been through some things, y'all, but it's still standing. And then you're going to get these awesome cards. I'll show you guys the cards within the flip through. That is the Winston Grammar Basic program. On top of that, they also provide a supplemental workbook. You have your supplemental workbook, and then you have your answer key. This can be added on to extend the lessons. Let's talk about lessons. There are 30 lessons within the curriculum and 4 quizzes. There's also a pre-test and a post-test. Although it said for pre and post, save that for your older children, just introduce the grammar to your younger children. So we did not do the pre and the post test for the basic program of Winston Grammar. The way the program is set up, within your lessons, 30 lessons, right? So you would think 30 lessons, 30 weeks. However, as I said before, this curriculum is really set for 4th or 5th grade, all the way up to 7th or 8th grade. So if they only have 2 levels, you're like, how is this supposed to work for grammar? This is the program that first told me that grammar really shouldn't be introduced until 4th or 5th grade, to when your child can just get it and they don't have to struggle and get it over and over and over again from 1st grade all the way up until high school. I thought that was really interesting. And I'm like, okay, so let's introduce this grammar, although my children had had grammar before, but I'm like, okay, I can go with that. I get it. I completely understand. Sometimes you just wait until they're a little older and it just clicks a lot faster. So within this curriculum, there are usually about 12 sentences for your child to go over. To stretch it out, they say you can stretch this out over 1 to 2 weeks. The sentences for diagramming in the beginning were super easy for my 4th grader. She was begging to do more sentence diagramming, and I was like, no, we're just going to take this really slow. So the suggestion is you take 2 to 3 sentences per day. If you do that, we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 4 days for you to go through one lesson. But they don't stop there. They say if your child is reading a book, have them assess and do sentence diagramming for the book that they're reading to point out the different parts of speech. Pick a couple of sentences from their favorite book. That's not even it. You go on further to then, if your child is doing a writing curriculum or they are doing reading comprehension where they have to answer questions, have them point out the parts of speech within their own writing. That is how you stretch this 30-week curriculum into 2 years if you really want to do it. It can go for an extended period of time because you're going to have your child constantly looking at different areas, even picking up a newspaper, books, writing down sentences of people that are on TV, using their own writing. there are so many opportunities for your child to do the sentence diagramming, and that really helps to reinforce what they are learning. So that's the suggestion for Winston Grammar. Now, that still moved us a little bit, I say slow, I guess, but not really. I mean, it was working out just fine. We didn't always do it in the book. We didn't always do her additional writing, but we always did the sentences that were in the book. So that's when I thought to myself, well, let's grab the supplement, because the supplement is simply more practice. That's how we ended up with these. It's great. She would go through, and what I had her do is I would have her do the lesson in the basic book, and then I would have her come and do the supplement. And then once she finished the supplement, maybe we would dive into one of the read alouds and pick a few sentences there. Maybe I would make up some sentences. Then she would make up sentences. Also, in her writing curriculum, she would do sentence diagramming within the writing curriculum. It was really working out great. And then we hit a wall. That wall was lesson 17, maybe 16 or so. And she got a lot of the sentence diagramming incorrect. Not the old stuff. It was the new stuff. And so then I thought, okay, maybe this is a little more advanced than what she's needing. So that's when we decided to sit Winston Grammar down, because it became more stressful for her and she just needed time to be able to process that. So that is how she ended up with Easy Grammar 4, which is going great. I love the Winston Grammar program. She did not want to sit this program down whatsoever. But the beauty of it is that we can go back to it, y'all, whenever we want to. So when I feel like she's at that point where she can really comprehend the object of the preposition a little bit more and understand all of those different parts of the sentence and diagramming, we're going to go back to this curriculum. Because as I said, she stopped at lesson 17. That gives her plenty of time to go through this curriculum. I really should have done a flip through before because all of her writing and everything is in here. So I'll show you guys a few pages to kind of give you an idea, but I don't want to share her work. Okay guys, let's do a flip through of the Winston Grammar Basic program. So with this program, you are going to get your Winston Grammar Teacher's Manual for basic level, and then you will also get the basic level student workbook. On top of that, you will get these grammar cards, and I'll go through the cards in just a moment. This is the supplement. We ordered this for additional work. It is set up exactly the same as the Winston Grammar Basic program. It's just simply the supplement. So this is not a requirement, but I did want to show you guys that there is an option for a supplement. Here, the student workbook, and then you have the answer keys. First off, let's take a look at the teacher's manual. When you open up your manual, it gives you an introduction, the purpose of the Winston Grammar program, materials that you'll need, and then it goes on to the sequence of topics. So you start with your articles and your nouns, then you have common and proper nouns review, personal pronouns review, verbs, and then you move on to all of these other topics here. Within your lessons, you have worksheets. Now this is a teacher's manual, so this is what you will use to teach your child the Winston Grammar program. And it goes through each lesson. It has where you introduce a new concept. It has the articles here, the cards, then it has your noun cards, then it gives you a script. Now this script is only listed within the first lesson, and then you just kind of flow from there with what you've learned from that first lesson, and then you have your own things. I'm gonna show you guys a little bit more in depth, but look in the back of here is where you get all of the answers to all of the worksheets that, or the questions and everything that are in the student workbook. So the answers are actually in the teacher's notebook as well. In the back, you have the post-test here. They take a pre-test as well, and it's actually just the same as the post-test. Okay, let's go over the cards really quickly. So here are the Winston Grammar cards, and there's different cards for every subject. So you have your interjection, prepositions, noun cards, adverb cards, blank cards, verbs, articles, helping verbs, personal pronouns, coordinating conjunctions, adjectives. Those are all of the cards that you get with the Winston Grammar program. So these are all of the grammar areas that your child will go over. Each one of these cards has something on the back with the exception of the black blank cards, and I'll explain those in just a moment. So I'm gonna flip each one of them over. As you go through the lessons, it is going to tell you what everything means on the cards. So I'll start, let's just do the verbs. So verbs, you have action and being verbs. When you flip it over, it's going to give you instruction on how these verbs may fit in here, other verbs to look for, and what this means in helping your child be able to apply this to understand which part of the sentence is the verb. The same thing with your noun cards. You have nouns, proper and common, and then you have all of these different other types of nouns here. You go over those further along in the curriculum. And then here, there's some different pictures to give you ideas of nouns. And then you have these two blanks here where you are to insert the noun to see if it actually fits to decide if it is a noun. So this is helping your child decipher by using the cards. They can read the back of them and say, oh, if it applies and it goes into this part, then it is considered a verb or a noun. Same thing with your articles here. You just flip this over and it gives you the example of the 3 articles. That's it. Okay, some other cards that you will get, and these are instruction cards. The instruction cards really just help your child be able to take it step by step through the process. So finding the subject, it gives your child examples of how to do that. Find the subject for each main verb in the sentence. And then you go to card number 2, which is blue. Is the main verb an action verb or a linking verb? And how do you decide if you find out here are linking verbs? If it's not a linking verb, if it is an action verb, then you go to card number 3. If it is a linking verb, you go to card number 5, which is green. So here's green card 5, and then card number 3, which is yellow. Finding the direct object. You will go through these steps to find the direct object. It says try to find the direct object for each action verb in the sentence. Now this is whatever sentence your child is going over. So these are really used if you are doing sentences that are in your child's reading book, or if it's in their writing. Maybe they wrote a couple of paragraphs on something in their writing curriculum. These are the cards, the instruction cards that you would use to help your child really decipher what they used, how they used it within the sentences. I love this because it really helps your child be able to analyze their sentences on a different level when they're not given the specific sentence and using these cards for it. So that is what the instruction cards are for. You probably saw these. When you do the supplement, you get extra cards that come with it because some of the sentences may require more cards. Okay, let's go through a lesson because I feel like that will really help. Let's go through lesson number 1. Here it says cards that are needed are the article, noun, and the blank cards. So we have our articles, which are red, our noun cards. I'm going to flip these over. And then we have our blank black cards, okay? So you're going to explain to your child the article cards and what these mean. As you go through, you're gonna have your student take these out. A lot of times my daughter already has them prepared when we were doing a lesson. And then here's the script. You're gonna read this and it's gonna tell you, the reverse side of the article card tells you that when one of these words appears in a sentence, it is an article. Simply put, if you see a, an, or the in a sentence, it is an article. You put a check mark over the top of it. That is what that is telling us, okay? And then other things, it says the clue side of the noun card shows 2 things. So here we are, flip over. It shows 4 picture clues that tell you that the noun's names are persons, places, things, or ideas, right? Then the bottom of the clue card, a noun card, shows 2 words. The word to, which tells you that it makes sense to make a noun plural. For example, person, or yes, person, and you can put 2 persons, okay? Then when you flip over, let me move my card so I can flip over here. A helpful hint about the nouns is you can count nouns. So they give you hints as to how your child can make this make sense for them. Going down, it says the black blank cards are used to mark any part of speech that is not introduced. So even though your child may be able to pick out a verb in a sentence, we're not on verbs yet. We're only working with nouns and articles, okay? So if they're able to find a verb or an adjective, we're not doing those. We're only doing the black cards for those. Then it gives us a sentence. The boy and the girl saw a man eat an apple. This is a possible script that you would go through with your child to figure out, have them go through and do the cards and understand how to use them. So it gives an example. It says, look at the first word in the sentence. Is it one of the 3 words on the red card? The. Is it? Yes. So you're going to, your child anyway, will put down a red card for an article. Then they go on to the next word. The next word is boy. Is boy a noun? It's a person. Boy is a person. So then we're going to put down our noun card. Now in this one it says, look at the clues on the bottom of the white card. In this sentence you can say 2 boys and the girl. 2 boys and the girl, right? So the word the sounds different in the front of the word boy. In fact, the word the is already there. Put a white card to the right of the red card to stand for boy. So we have the boy. And is not a word that we have gone over. It's not an article and it's not a noun. So we're then going to put a black card. And as you can see, the sentence will keep going that way. Then we have the, which is going to be an article. We have girl, which is going to be our noun. Then we have saw. Saw is not either an article or a noun, so we're going to put a black card down. We have a, which is going to be an article. Man is a noun, so we'll put a white card down for that. Eat. Eat is not an article or a noun, so we're going with a black card. I'm running out of space here, but I'm going with a black card. And then apple. Apple is a noun. So this is what your sentence will look like. Ideally, you want your sentence to go this way, this way, this way. I was running out of space, but this is what it would look like. And then to check it, you have it here. So we have our article card, noun card, black card. Then we go to another article card, noun card, black card. We're following this. Then we have an article, noun, black. So article, noun, black. And then article, I missed an article, y'all. Oh, and is our article. And then we have our last noun card. And this is how you determine if your child got those correct. Then they will go on further. When you write this on the whiteboard, they will then go and label it with the expected labeling for the sentence diagramming. So all articles will have a check mark over the top. All nouns will be underlined, and that's what your child will do. And that is how the lessons will go. You then, if your child runs into a problem, I still read these even if my daughter didn't run into a problem, possible problems, just so that she knows what those may look like. And it also helped me in teaching her in case she came across something wrong. Okay, well, let's go and look at the possible problems so that maybe I can help her understand it and I can get a better understanding of it as well. So that is the Winston Grammar program, like how you would do a lesson. So after your child has done this portion of it, which is the teaching portion, they would then go on to the sentences. I'm going to show you in the teacher's guide because my daughter has worked through the answers and I don't want to show her work. But your child will have these sentences here. They will not be marked because this is the answer guide. But your child will go through all of these sentences. Now, as Winston Grammar said, as I told you guys, there are 12 sentences usually per lesson, 10 to 12. So I would just have my daughter do 3. She would go through in her student book, which is here, and she would do this. And then we would check it together, and that would be a lesson for the day. This is a really solid program. You stretch it out over a few years, and then guess what? You move on to what's called WordWorks, which is in between the basic program and the advanced. I already have it. Because I was a little ambitious and I knew that my daughter was going to finish that. And I'm like, okay, we'll need something in between. So I did buy the WordWorks. That's okay. I'm not going to get rid of it because she really loves this program. It comes with additional cards here as well. And then you have your teacher's guide and your student workbook. We haven't done anything with it. As you can see, it's still in the plastic, but I've had it for a few months now because I didn't know at the time that she wouldn't finish that curriculum. So now we are easy grammar. However, I wanted to give you guys a review. I really love the Winston Grammar program. I'm excited for us to be able to go back to it. She still is able to use the cards within this curriculum. She's able to use them with her easy grammar, or if I just give her a sentence for sentence diagramming, all of the parts of speech that she knows, she can use these cards. So it's not like it has gone to waste in any way. I do really enjoy the curriculum. As I showed you guys on the back of the card, it really helps your child to be able to understand everything that's going on. It just got a little too advanced for us. If you really want to know my opinion on it, I think it's awesome. My 4th grader was not quite ready for the lessons past 16 or 17. Your child may. If we had taken it as slow as Winston Grammar has suggested, or even slower, maybe done every 3 weeks for a lesson, it would have worked out. She would still be working on it and we could carry it over into 5th grade year. I I have plans for this Winston Grammar curriculum. We are definitely going to go back to it. So if you have a rising 5th grader, 6th grader, 7th grader, Winston Grammar will be a really great program to use for grammar work.